If your vaginal discharge is like this, or you simply have a vagina, then this video is for you. This is Everything Woman by Ella, and today we are uncovering everything vaginal yeast infections. What is vaginal yeast infections? What are the symptoms of vaginal yeast infections? How to differentiate vaginal yeast infections from STIs? How to treat, prevent, and very importantly, how to manage recurring vaginal yeast infections. To begin, what is vaginal yeast infection? Now, a vaginal yeast infection is a type of fungal infection. The body contains a kind of yeast called Candida, which causes vaginal yeast infections. Yeast is a type of fungus, and Candida is a specific kind of yeast. When this yeast is in balance within your body, there are no problems. But when this yeast is out of balance, it rapidly grows, and then you say you have a yeast infection. Now, to break everything I just said, imagine Candida to be the bad guy. The bad guy is in jail. The police is the good bacteria, and the police takes the bad guy into custody, right? Candida is in jail, everything is all well, the society is safe, and then all of a sudden there's a breakout. Candida breaks out from prison, and there's chaos, there's conflict, there's violence, and that is what happens to your body. Sometimes Candida goes out of control. Candida is the bad guy. Candida is the bad bacteria. Although the body needs it, but it should be within a certain limit, a certain level. And when something happens and it is not within its range, then you say you have a vaginal yeast infection. Now, how would you know if you have a vaginal yeast infection? Vaginal yeast infection isn't like those kind of infection that just go without any symptom. It's not asymptomatic. You will see the symptoms. And some of the symptoms include vaginal discharge that is like gari. It has this rough texture. Either you can use gari, or if you don't know what gari is, it's like cottage cheese. It just clumps all around, and it may or may not itch you. It can cause severe itching in your vagina, mild or no itching at all. And most times when it itches, it comes with swelling and redness and inflammation. It can be very uncomfortable. Now, you need to understand that vaginal yeast infection isn't exactly sexually transmitted. As I said before, vaginal yeast infection occurs when the bad bacteria in your vagina, called Candida, goes way out of control. So it's not like somebody gave it to you. Also, another symptom you need to look out for in vaginal yeast infection is the odorless discharge. Vaginal yeast infection doesn't smell. Another symptom you need to look out for in vaginal yeast infection is the odorless discharge. Vaginal yeast infections do not produce discharge that have odors. It is odorless. It smells similar to your normal vaginal discharge. So, in summary, a vaginal yeast infection has symptoms that are a discharge that looks like cottage cheese or gari, swelling, redness, and itching of the vagina and vulva. However, there are some STIs that has similar symptoms to yeast infection. So it is very important you know exactly what you have so you won't treat something else. So how do you know the difference between vaginal yeast infection and other STIs? In summary, you don't. The only way to know is if you get a doctor's appointment and they take a swab from your vagina and take it to the lab to test. Now, it is very tempting. As a woman, I have been there. It is very tempting to go to the pharmacy and get over the counter pills for vaginal yeast infection. But you need to desist from that, because if you have other things that are masking like vaginal yeast infections, you are going to end up building resistance in your body. which may end up causing recurrent yeast infections. Recurrent yeast infection is if you keep treating and it goes and comes back and goes and comes back. Just like now, you don't want that. You don't want your body to be resistant to the medication for vaginal yeast infection. So the only way to differentiate vaginal yeast infections from STI is to go to the doctor so that they can get a swab of your discharge and do a proper lab test before you are giving any medication. Now, how do you cure vaginal yeast infection? Vaginal yeast infection is very easy to cure. It's very easy to treat. As I said before, it is not an STI. It's just the bad bacteria in the body playing tricks. It can easily be cured by over-the-counter drugs, which I'm not going to say. Your doctor should be the one to do that for you. And it doesn't cause infertility. It doesn't cause infertility at all because it's basically bacteria. It doesn't cause infertility and it may not affect your chances of conceiving. But you need to treat it before you try having a baby because if you have vaginal yeast infection during pregnancy, it can be a very bumpy ride. And trust me, you don't want that. Then, how do you prevent vaginal yeast infections? To prevent vaginal yeast infection, first of all, let's go back to the treatment. When you treat yourself, although it is not sexually transmitted, if you have a sexual partner who has a penis or a vagina, it is important to take the person on the treatment with you. It is very slim to get vaginal yeast infection through sex, but you want to make sure that that side is covered so that you'll be sure that by a slim chance you do not get it back from your sexual partner who has a penis or a vagina. In other words, if you use toys, there is a slim chance that you will get vaginal yeast infection from your toys. So back to prevention. How do you prevent vaginal yeast infection? Number one, for some people, condoms trigger vaginal yeast infection, latest condoms to be exact. So if you notice that after sex using latest condoms, you have vaginal yeast infections, then it is advisable you stop using latest condoms and use non-latest condoms. You can get that. In Nigeria, where I'm from, it can be a little challenging to get it from the pharmacy. So you can order it online. It's easier to get online. So use a non-latest condoms. If latest condoms trigger vaginal yeast infection in you, also use a water-based lubricant. Yes. Oil-based lubricants can cause irritation for some people and just disrupt the balance of their vaginal flora. So it is safer. It is safer to use water-based lube. Avoid lubes like coconut oil, oil-based lubricants. Your spit. No, 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 no. Using your spit as a lubricant can cause vaginal yeast infections. Also, when you have oral sex with your partner, it's advisable that they brush their mouth before the activity because when you just eat and you do what you want to do, the food residue from your mouth can can introduce bacteria into your body that can cause bacterial infection and also disrupt the flora, the pH balance of your vagina, which will lead to vaginal yeast infection. Also, you want to be mindful of the texture of your underwear. You want to get cotton underwears because non-cotton underwears can make the your vagina to retain heat and sweat, which can make you to be exposed to the infection. Also, try sleeping without panties. Okay, sleep without panties and let your vagina breathe. And for some persons, getting a very quality feminine wash prevents vaginal yeast infections. Before you come for me, this is a personal experience. Now, many gynecologists are going to go against the use of feminine wash for preventing vaginal yeast infection, but I can tell you that I used it. I'm not going to tell you the product I used, but it was a very good product because trust me, I am somebody who has experienced vaginal yeast infections over and again, and I have tried so many things, and this one worked for me. As I said before, I'm not going to tell you the product, but if you can get a good one, possibly recommended by your gynecologist, it may help. And your diet, yes, your diet is not just to help you to maintain a slim figure. Your diet also constitutes a healthy vagina. You can adopt to yogurt. Yogurt has prebiotics, probiotics, sorry. Yogurt have probiotics that your vaginal needs. Your vaginal needs, your body is filled with probiotics. So introducing more to your body is going to help you. I'm going to make another video talking about yogurt and their usefulness and why you as a woman need to adopt to yogurt. In fact, you need to make yogurt your best friend. Another way to prevent vaginal yeast infection is by saying no to douching. Everyone, gynecologists, doctors, nurses have said for the umpteenth time, do not douch. Douching does more harm than good. Douching is killing the flora in your vagina. I have met some women who told me that they douch because when they don't, their vagina produces an awful smell, but douching is what cleanses out their vagina. If you need to douch to make your vagina smell well, then you should be going to the hospital, not douching. There's no amount of douching that will remove that awful smell from your vagina. If you do, there's a problem. You need to go to the hospital. I'm also going to give you another video on douching. Perhaps when you see it, you'll know how dangerous douching can be to the woman's body. And now, if you have recurrent yeast infections, how do you prevent it? How do you solve it? How do you take care of it? Now, coming from someone who has had recurrent yeast infections, I'm going to tell you some of the things I did. Now, for recurrent yeast infections, for you to prevent it, you're going to be on a therapy medication. That should be given to you only by your gynecologist. Your gynecologist will give you a therapy to prevent the recurrent yeast from coming back. Now, this therapy can be taken for some months intermittently, not every day, for a period of time over the years, right? Now, although those therapy medication is not 100% guaranteed to prevent yeast infection, that is where your diet also comes in. So your diet not only prevents yeast infection, it also prevents it from recurring. So you can use your diet, which I would advise to be yogurt because of the bacteria present in yogurt. Bacteria has the good, yogurt has a good bacteria that your vagina needs. Yes, the bacteria, the good bacteria that is found in your vagina is the same bacteria that is found in yogurt. So you need to take it so that it will help fight the bad bacteria that keeps multiplying and causing vaginal yeast infections. And also another way to prevent recurring yeast infections. And what for me was the feminine wash, which I'm still not going to say. It really worked for me. So if you can meet your gynecologist, I'm sure he can recommend something as good as what I used. So these are the main things that you need to know about vaginal yeast infections. And I need you to subscribe, like, and turn on your notification bell because the next video is going to be mind blowing. Stay safe until I see you next time. Bye.